Well, welcome into To Your Health, or it can be Your Moving Parts. And when we get into 2022, the start of a new year, one of the big things we do is we say we're making a New Year's resolution, and it may be to be more healthy. One of the best ways as you're getting older is to walk, but what keeps you from doing a good walk is your feet. So today I brought in the experts in the field of feet, Dr. Brian Kille and lovely Lashonda Kille. So glad to have you back again. And it's the brand new year, and people want to get out and walk, but oh, my aching feet. And it's because you do a number of things wrong, don't you? How do you take good care of your feet?
Well, one of the most important things to do if you want to start exercising or a walking program is to not buy walking shoes. I always recommend running shoes, even though you're not going to be running. You want to buy running shoes because they have more cushion and shock absorption. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be the best things for your feet.
So a lot of times when you go to the store, I don't know if I've ever seen a thing that's just kind of called a walking shoe. Most of them are more geared up toward running, aren't they?
Most of them are, but there are some designated walking shoes. Okay. And that's what people will trend toward, is buying a walking shoe because I'm going to be walking. But it's more important to buy a running shoe even though you will be walking. It's better for your feet. Mm-hmm.
And of course, the big thing that happens a lot of times is I don't take that size shoe. We don't buy the right size shoe. Absolutely. And both of our feet are not the same, are they?
Usually they are, but I see a lot of at least a half a size difference. Mm-hmm. And so, and they no longer put Brannick devices in the shoe stores like they used to, those little measuring things that you would...
Yes.
Yeah, so the rule of thumb that I tell everyone is when you stick your foot in your shoe and you're standing, your longest toe, which isn't always your first, should be approximately half of your thumbnail width from the end of the shoe.
Ah, okay.
So, but you got to get the longest toe. If it's your second, first, whatever it is, that's
right.
What you measure from.
Yeah, because a lot of people think it goes like this, but it may go like that.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's right. And how do we keep our feet healthy? I mean, a lot of people don't realize that you wash your hands, you wash your this. You have to keep your feet first and foremost clean, right?
You have to wash them.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have to wash in between the toes with soap and water, and to rinse with soap. Rinse well, all the soap out. But another important aspect is to dry the feet well, especially in between the toes. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are in a hurry and they wash and say that they dry their feet and they slip on their shoes and socks, but there's moisture in between the toes, and that can cause a problem with an athlete's foot infection in between the toes. It's just too moist, and it allows fungus or bacteria to breed in that moist environment, and then you can develop an interspace infection.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you put on that, a lot of times people either shower or take a bath early in the morning when they're getting ready to go to work or whatever they're going to do. Then if they don't dry it, they put on that shoe. Maybe the next time they take off that shoe is 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
And so it's had all day to fester.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I usually advise people, after you get your shower, to wear something that's open-toed, like a pair of flip-flops or something that your feet can just have time to air out and dry. Or if you have a hair dryer and it has a cool setting, you can sit there and use the hair dryer on a cool setting and kind of fan your toes out, if they do that, to get some more drying for your toes.
And a lot of times, obviously you're going to take a towel to dry your toes. It doesn't take that long to do it. But just like you say, make sure that they're done. Everybody's in a hurry these days.
Well, you got to remember that usually the last thing you dry are your feet. So
yes.
You might want to have a fresh towel for your feet.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're just going to stay moist.
Or why don't we start with our feet and work our way up to give them more of a chance to dry out a little bit.
Do that too.
Yes. That'd be a great way to do it too. And then, of course, like you say, when you are starting to walk, whenever you're taking steps, if something's bothering you, you should not continue. You should stop and try to see what it is, right?
That is correct.
What are some of the common pains that a person's going to get in their foot?
Most common is probably going to be heel or arch pain.
Okay.
From inflammation of that tendon or that ligament that makes your arch, called plantar fascia, and that gives you plantar fasciitis. And as we age, all of these structures become weaker, so it's more likely that this stuff's going to happen.
Right.
So then arch supports come into play if those running shoes aren't supportive enough for you. The other thing you got to watch out for are stress fractures, especially if you haven't been active for a while. If you want to go out and try to do 5 miles, that's not usually a good idea. You got to start small and work your way up, because all your structures need to get stronger to be able to do that kind of work.
Okay, I'm going to ask the young lady here a lady question. High heels, or, when people are wearing high heels, probably not the best thing for your feet, are they?
Well, it depends on the shoe. There are some
Okay.
heels that are better than others.
Okay.
I usually advise people to wear more of a wedge. That way there's not the huge difference between the heel of your foot and the ball of your foot, putting a lot of stress on your arches. The wedge is more of a gradual sloping that allows you to wear the shoe more comfortably and longer. And some shoes are just ill-fitting no matter how high the heel is. And I see a lot of people complain about deformities of the toenails that can come about from ill-fitting shoes that are either shaped differently in the toes, that are different from your foot, or that just aren't the right length.
And naturally, we're going to be walking more flat than we're going to be walking like this, right?
When you
In other words, if you're in the heel, your foot's like that.
right.
As opposed to when you're in a regular shoe, you're more walking on a flat surface. So can that cause more problem then?
Yes, it does put more stress on the arch and the ball of the foot when you're wearing a higher heel.
Okay, so we need to let our viewers know before we stop. They don't have to go to their doctor and get a recommendation to come see either one of you. And you should have, especially as you get older, your feet checked on a yearly basis by a professional.
Absolutely.
Okay? Well, great. And the phone numbers are on the screen. It's Greenville Foot Care, and there is obviously an office in Greenville, one here in Montgomery. Call for an appointment today, and they'll get you on your way, and they'll make sure you have happy feet. We'll be right back right after this.